So, welcome back. In our previous discussion, we were throwing some lights on software development life cycle. Then we saw the waterfall model, and then we saw the prototype model, and its some of its variants. And then we saw that okay, there are some options with prototype model. That is, we can go ahead with a rapid throwaway prototype model, or I can go ahead with evolutionary model. I can go with incremental prototype, or maybe I can go ahead with the extreme prototype. And then we saw some of these advantages and some basic disadvantages. And in today's discussion, we are going to talk about rapid application development model. RAD stands for your rapid application development. Now, from the term coined, which is rapid, you might have got some idea that this is something which will be much faster development this time. And of course, from every model, we are expecting a higher quality result as well. The good point is that here we are using case tools and the techniques. We'll talk about case tools in the next slide. At this moment of time, just understand that case stands for computer assisted. In some of the literatures, you'll find it as aided software engineering. So this includes the user-driven prototyping. So keep a note of this particular thing, that here also we are dealing with prototyping. And here we have a very stringent project delivery. Right. So basically what is happening is this RAD is based on, one is your prototyping, which we've talked about here, and it talks about iterative development. So we have two things: we have prototyping and we have the iterative development with no specific planning involved, and that's why we go ahead with this in a rapid mode. The process of writing the software itself involves the planning required for developing the product. In this RAD model, it is focusing on gathering the customer's requirements. Right. So main focus is to gather the customer's requirement. Through the workshops or the focus groups. Early testing of the prototypes by the customers using the iterative concepts, reuse of the existing prototypes, continuous integration of the rapid application delivery as well. So now let's see what basically CASE is. Your case tools stands for computer assisted software engineering. And as I previously discussed, this case tools are also known as computer aided software engineering. So in some of the literatures you'll find it is called as computer aided software engineering, means aided in place of assisted. So this is basically the domain of software tools used to design and implement applications. And these case tools are similar to and were partly inspired by computer aided designing, CAD. CAD, you might be familiar with this term. CAD is used to design the hardware products and all. So the case tools are used for developing the high quality, defect free and maintainable software products. On top of it, for the development and maintenance of the software applications as well. And since it's computer assisted or aided, so this is for the rapid progress of overall software development. Right, so it's like for the rapid, I'll go ahead with case tools. Rapid development. So the SEI-CMU definition says that case or the computer assisted software engineering is the use of computer based support in overall software development process. So in case tools, we are using it for the sake of high productivity. We are using it in order to improve consistency checking. That means we are trying to improve the quality by consistency checking. Let's take some examples of case tools. So you have like translators, you have compilers, you have assemblers, you have microprocessors, linkers and loaders and whatnot. And then we have like program editors, debuggers, your code analyzers, your program pretty printers, and so on and so forth. Some of the examples are like RUP, Rational Unified Process, right? This is initially it was from Rational, then IBM took over Rational. So this is RUP is something which is a very common case tool. Your edit, it is your advanced data dictionary tool, so helps in taking care of the words or keywords used. So some of the case tools we have are like we have programmer tools, and then we have like your system analysis and design tools, and this is basically a scientist with the name Fujita did this particular classification, where they said that okay, we have like tools to support specific tasks in your software development life cycle. Then we have workbenches which combine your two or more tools focused on a specific part of software life cycle. And then we have like environments where we combine two or more workbenches and support the complete software cycles. So what we have is we have some software engineering tools like say, repositories we know, meta cases we know, testing tools, and then we have like life cycle tools, and each of these are related to support some specific tasks in my software development life cycle. So we have this case used in our rapid application development. So let's see what basically this rapid application development model is. So on this side we have like requirements planning, where we go ahead with concept definition. We have like functional design and the user design, and the construction is taking place. We have like development stage in this case, and the ultimately we have like implementation. which is your deployment stage or the cutover phase. We'll talk about these things in the coming slides, but let's quickly see the essential aspects of your rapid application development model. So what we have is we have methodologies, we have people, we have management, and we have like tools. So when we talk about rapid application development model, then what we have is we have your business modeling. And then we have data modeling. And then we have your process modeling. After process, we have application generation. That means we'll come up with the application now. After application generation, we have testing and turnover. So this is, and the same thing continues for various modules. Like if suppose I have module 1, so I'll go ahead with this. I'll have module 2. I'll once again go ahead with the same process, and so on and so forth. In case of your business modeling, so in case of this business modeling, the information flow among the business functions is defined by answering questions like what data drives the business process? What data drives the business process? What data is generated? And who generates it? Where does the information go? And who processes it? Whereas in case of your data modeling, the data collected from business modeling is refined into a set of data objects or entities. Data objects or entities. And these entities are something which are needed to support the business. The attributes of these entities are defined. And relation between these data objects are also defined. Now, in case of your process modeling, the information object defined in the data modeling phase are transformed in order to achieve the data flow necessary to implement a business function. Right, we achieve the data flow which is required to implement a business function. So processing descriptions are created for adding or modifying or deleting or retrieving a data object. In case of your application generation, your automated tools are used. And the purpose of using these automated tools are to facilitate the construction of software. Right, that's where your case tools are once again coming into picture. Now, last one is your testing and turnover. So many of the programming components have already been tested using rapid application development. So this reduces the overall testing time. But I need to test the new part, and all the interfaces must be tested fully and should be exercised well. That's how, as prototypes are individually tested during every iteration, the overall testing time gets reduced. So previously we discussed, right? We have the best part about this particular thing is that I have thing means your rapid application development model. I have something which is your prototyping. And on top of it, I iterate as well. That's how it works effectively. Now, your next thing is how to include this particular rapid application development model in software engineering. So what we do is we create this RAD prototype. Let's say it's one. Once again, we'll create another prototype with the help of bring some changes to this spelling 2, and I can have another prototype with the same help of your rapid application development. And this entire process is done with the help of automation tool. And this particular thing results into your application code. So the focus is on the input output source and the destination of the information. Right. So once again, let's focus on the essential aspects. Right. We talked about this. So when we talk about methodology, it means we are talking about your requirements. We're talking about requirements planning, user design, construction, and implementation. And when we talk about people, we are talking about user coordinator, requirements planning team, training manager, project manager, SWAT team, workshop leaders, and whatnot. And then we have like management and we have tools. Another good thing about this rapid application development is that we are also focusing on verification and validation. So in case of verification and validation, we are focusing it just because we are using these case tools. And these tools may be able to automatically detect and resolve your inconsistencies in data types or dependencies. Less the human intervention, less the chances of errors. I can design and can be automatically generated from this requirement. So sorry, the design can automatically be generated from the requirement. So these things are automated, right? Your RSA tool works very efficiently. From the design document, from the requirements document, I can get the design. From the design, I can get the code as well. And yes, of course, I need to customize these code. I need to verify and I need to bring some changes as well. Now, let's see some of the benefits of using rapid application development model. So this is like I have a less cycle, and when I'm using tools, so my productivity gets improved. In this particular model, the customer's involvement is throughout the complete cycle, which once again minimizes the risk of not achieving the customer's satisfaction and needs. And the good thing is WYSI WYG. That means what you see is what you get. Now, since it is rapid, it is iterative, so we can say that this RAD model is flexible and it can adapt to changes as well. And due to code generators and code reviews, there is reduction of manual coding as well. With less people, productivity can be increased. That too in a very short span of time. There are some drawbacks associated with this as well. One is, once again, it is tough to be used with the complex systems. See, frequent changes are there. In complex systems, it's not possible. So, good for only smaller projects. In this sense, customer's involvement is there, so I need to have a technically sound customer. Then only the customer can give me some inputs. Now, risk of never achieving a closure, once again, the reason being iterative in nature. Right, customer is stringent and is never happy. Then we have like developers and customers must be committed to some rapid fire activities because everything is happening in a very short span of time. But another major cause of concern is that RAD is not applicable for, or you can say not compatible with all applications. Don't use it when your technical risk is high. So in all these cases, avoid using it. And since all these tools and other stuffs are used, so I need to have highly skilled developers and designers. Now, the point is when to use this rapid application development model. So, the first thing is when the requirements are very well known. When the user's involvement is throughout the life cycle, means end user is capable of giving time throughout the life cycle. Of course, in case of relatively smaller projects, that means when the project is to be delivered in a short span, maybe like 2-3 months or 4 months time we have. High performance not required. Right, high performance is not required. That means when I don't need to achieve or I don't need to get the best possible option, and when technical risk is less, and when there is a necessity to create a system that can be modularized, and when my budget is high enough to afford the designers for modeling along with the cost of automated tools for code generation, because these tools are something which are very costly. These tools are something which are very, very costly, and that's why we need to take a call on going ahead with this rapid application development model when it suits our purpose and we have to deploy a particular project in a very short span of time. So this was all about your rapid application development model. Now we are left with some more models which we'll be covering in our next video. See you soon.